So welcome in this new episode of our CCNI webcast series. So I hope you already attended the two first webinars. If not, they are published on the portal, partner portal, so please attend it. So as a short reminder of the first episode, let's say we have covered what is a CCNI, and I will make a short summary. But during this session, we'll go deeper on the Cisco and Google Cloud partnership. Okay, and we will see how Cisco has made the integration and how Cisco, let's say, enrich its proposition with the Google AI platform. So we have a demo, a technical review, and we will see that Cisco was innovative because they have added also some capabilities such as translation to support multi-language support if the agent speak only one language. But Max will cover that. Now I hand over to Max that will develop how Cisco has made the integration and what the Cisco offer in that specific context. To you, Max.
Thank you very much, Dominic. So my name is Max Carenzano. I'm in the Central European organization, and I look after innovation in contact centers, which means these days 99% of my efforts are around artificial intelligence, which is the hot smoking topic on customers of any sort of business, vertical, and any sort of size. So let me start with an overview of what's going on in this industry, in the contact center industry, because there are many trends, many changes which are going to, let me say, completely change this industry in the coming 2-3 years. So the first one is coming from the clients, from the customers, and the behavior this customer have. While the reality is that the vast majority of the existing call centers are still audio voice call centers. On the other side, I mean, the customers, they do prefer to use text, digital channels to reach the service. This is driven by the consumer business. This is driven by the social, the applications that you are using on your smartphone. And it has the dynamics of the consumer and of the social. So, which means that every 6 months, this set of chat tools you're using is changing. These days, I don't know if you are a Telegram user, I mean, you will see that plenty of your colleagues are joining this social. There isn't a specific reason. It's just the one which is becoming more popular now. So, and this is something that you need to take into account. So one migration which is going to happen on existing contact center is the move to digital. So new contact center, upgraded contact center will be digital contact center. So able to support both the audio and the digital channel. Also on the IT side, which is the one where Cisco is historically playing, there are big changes. I mean, so far, vast majority of the contact centers have been deployed on premise. Now there is clearly a trend towards cloud, which means that I would say not all the customers will move to cloud, but for sure all the customers are now evaluating cloud. And in the next 2-3 years, they will have planned to partially move, completely move, go through a kind of hybrid approach with something in the cloud, something on premise, but definitely this move to cloud is happening now. And that's, of course, another big change we have to take into account. And then we have our friends at Google with their artificial intelligence revolution. Artificial intelligence is now a revolution, not because it's something new. It's not new at all. Artificial intelligence has been around for ages. What is new is the technology underneath artificial intelligence. So the latest developments around natural language understanding, machine learning, etc., are dramatically enhancing the power, the potential of artificial intelligence integrated in a contact center environment. And this is, of course, one brand new universe you have to integrate into the existing IT and client consumer-driven infrastructure in some way. And finally, there is one more building block, which is very much important. It's data. I mean, artificial intelligence is without data, well, it doesn't work. It's like having a wonderful car with a tank not filled in. So data is the fuel of artificial intelligence. And data, I mean, normally are managed, stored in multiple different ways, on cloud, on premise. There are plenty of different CRM applications being used by the customers, different flavors of that, which should be taken into account. So the challenge to vendors and partners who are offering business solutions to their customers is how to integrate these building blocks together in a consistent architecture which is valid today and which will be valid and good in the next 2-3 years, considering all these trends. The way to do that is to be able to integrate all these blocks in a way that you can orchestrate through APIs, through open APIs, the interwork, the dialogue between all these building blocks. That's a philosophy, that's a strategy, very high level, we are pursuing and we are working on. And that's also about the technology integration which took place at the engineering level across Google and Cisco. So it's not just a technical point, the one I would like to raise here. It's also a go-to-market. So in Cisco, we do go-to-market 99.99% through our partners. And also the role of our partners is becoming even more important than it was till now in the contact center industry, because the kind of skills, the set of skills the partner will need to integrate together all these pieces to deliver a unique, incredible business value to the customer is growing. It's much more complex than it was. So this has to be considered by the customers, picking the right partner, and by the partner willing to lead and to be, I mean, the best one and the most competitive one. So the traditional system integration skills, which are needed to design and roll, operate, and maintain a traditional contact center, are still mandatory, but no longer good enough. Because when we talk about working with APIs to orchestrate the dialogue between the consumer world, the artificial intelligence delivered by Google, and the system integration component, it's mainly a matter of software integration. And the same, I would say, apply also to the data and to the CRM. So this is no longer just system integrator, it's more and more becoming software integration, which means that most likely the large projects will not be an off-the-shelf solution. You just have to buy, resell, install, design, etc. There will be some needs to develop a little bit some software integration in order to deliver the full value, but the potential is unique. Finally, there is the artificial intelligence component, which is it's software for sure, but it's not the traditional software integration. That's a job for specialists, especially if you're talking about delivering sophisticated, complex voice bots able to really offer an incredible value to the customers. So these are the set of skills which are going to decide the winner in terms of go-to-market. These are the set of skills that the customers looking for an artificial intelligence integration into the contact center should look for. We do see the role of the Cisco partner being the orchestrator, the conductor of the orchestra. So it's a team work like the one I'm having now with Dominic, like the one Cisco and Google are having. Same applies in the go-to-market. So there is a need to orchestrate the different skill sets, maybe across different partners, to deliver the solution. So this is a suggestion to the partners. Look into that. Wonderful opportunity opportunity, but you need to be prepared. Now, in order to facilitate and support our partners, Cisco and Google decided to have also a commercial agreement and not just a technical agreement. So the commercial agreement fundamentally is helping to streamline the go-to-market. So it's an OEM. We have now available on Cisco price list the Google AI services we need in the contact center. Of course, any customer with an existing relationship with Google can keep buying the services from Google. But in case, there is a project with the Cisco Contact Center and they prefer to have just one point of contact, one vendor, one invoice at the end of the month, the Cisco partner can resell the Google Artificial Intelligence services out of the Cisco price list. It's already orderable since the beginning of April. It's a flex subscription, so it's a subscription, it's not a license. And it's a subscription based on consumption, so it's built on a monthly base in arrears. So which means that now in May we are going to charge the consumption of April. There is no need of any extra Cisco license to turn on artificial intelligence. So the Cisco license, if you want, is the traditional license. Of course, there is a requirement in terms of software version which is needed, and the software version is the 12.5 at least on the Cisco Voice portal and on the virtual voice browser to support the artificial intelligence services offered by Google. The services we have on the price list are, well, I would say the three fundamental ones. So we have speech to text, both in the premium and standard options. We have the dialog flow audio to create conversational IVRs or virtual agents, so voice bots, or the dialog flow text to create a chat bot, which is, for example, the case for WebEx Contact Center. And finally, of course, we have the text-to-speech, again available both in premium and standard version. For all the other details, I make myself available, but we are simply somehow mirroring the service offering from Google. So everything which applies to Google, apart minor details, is reflected in our sales model for these services. Now, where do we apply this artificial intelligence in the portfolio of contact center solutions from Cisco? Well, we can apply Google artificial intelligence services everywhere. To all our platforms, all the platforms that we have. In some cases, the integration available today is already native, so it doesn't require any customization from the partner. So it's a kind of plug and play. Of course, you still need to configure, develop the bot, etc., but it's a kind of plug and play. And this is true for the all the solutions based on Contact Center Enterprise running software 12.5. So could be Contact Center Enterprise, could be packaged Contact Center Enterprise on premises, could be the same hosted by a partner, so HCS CCE, package CCE, or could be the service delivered out of a Cisco data center, which is WebEx Contact Center Enterprise. So we do support native integration with Google Dialogflow and all the other services on all these platforms and solutions. On WebEx Contact Center, which is the other cloud offer we have, we do already support Dialogflow chat, so we can easily deliver a virtual agent chat bot through Dialogflow with WebEx Contact Center. And in May, we will roll the early field trial for the voice bot support in WebEx Contact Center. On Contact Center Express, and we still have plenty of customers running on Contact Center Express, both are possible, audio and chat integration. That will require a little customization that any Cisco partner in charge of maintaining and operating the CCX can deliver. It's not a straightforward out of the box, but it's already working. We can demo that, and any partner can work on that solution. Any further question, of course, I'm available. Now, let's talk a little bit about why artificial intelligence, because I think I've been talking about the incredible business value that the best of these two words, Google and Cisco, is bringing to the customers, but we need to try to understand what is creating such a great expectation from our customers. Well, it's cost savings. Guess what? Guess what? And it's important that you write down the numbers, because otherwise the risk is that you don't realize what we are talking about. Contact center is a big machine, is a big sales machine, is the preferred tool to drive customer experience, which is on top of the priorities of all the business leaders today. And being able to deliver a solution which is optimizing by 10% the operations in a contact center is going to be an incredible opportunity for the customer, an incredible ROI for the customer. And let's make the math together. So let's assume the cost of an agent is $1,000 per month. We know that in Western European economies it's much more than that, but let's assume it's $1,000. A contact center with 1,000 agents, which is big but not that big, it's still a mid-market contact center. This means that 10% optimization will deliver a $1.2 million cost savings the first year. And if we consider just 5 years as the life cycle of a contact center, this will deliver $6 million cost savings, just 10%. And 10%, as you will see with artificial intelligence, is quite easy to achieve. So that's my message. Don't try to boil the ocean, especially if it's your first attempt, if it's the first customer touch with artificial intelligence, simply because it's not needed, not because it's not possible. We can go well above 10%, well above 10%. But let's do that step by step. 10% is already good enough to be a win-win-win situation. Win for the customer, win for the vendors, win for the partners. Not to mention if the contact center is a little bit larger than that. You will see that we immediately move to double-digit cost savings. So there's enough to have the customer happy because of the cost savings, and also the ROI, the return from the technology investment, is for sure within 12 months. So within the first year, you return from the investment. That's why artificial intelligence is so hot smoking on table today for all the customers. Now, let me move forward and start giving you some examples, some use cases, just a few of the incredible, limitless number of use cases we could have. It's really one of the beauty of artificial intelligence is the fact that it's unleashing the creativity of people. It's just a matter of creativity. You just have to identify the use case you want to optimize. There is a solution to do that. So the technology comes later because the technology is limitless in this case. Let's talk about something which is a very common use case, especially in the European Union. Well, to be honest, it's not just the European Union. It's a global market. It's a flat world. So every company willing to target this global market, they have to deal with the languages barrier, with the languages issue. If they have to talk to customers of different countries, even if they are an American company or a UK company, so English is their language, well, they have to be able to deal with different languages. If they are European companies, well, that's by default the first requirement. You have to deal with languages. And dealing with languages in a contact center is possible, but it's very expensive because it requires either very expensive and rare agents being able to speak plenty of languages. Just to consider, in Europe, just within the Union, we speak 24 different languages. And if we consider the extended European Union, we have 200 more languages and dialects. Okay, so that's just an idea about the complexity of this business challenge to enterprises. Now, artificial intelligence can offer incredible advantages. Let me start with the first example. This is the architecture of the demo I'm going to run in a few seconds. So here we have an example of an incoming audio call from a customer. The call is coming into a Cisco Contact Center Enterprise running 12.5 release, where we have delivered a little customization, the one Dominique was talking about, to add also translation capabilities on top of those we have natively integrated, because again, the integration we have is great, but there is much more than you can do thanks to the support of your partners. In this case, for example, we are adding translation capabilities on top of that. So the call is forwarded by this API connector, which is fundamentally the customization delivered by the partner to Google, and Google is performing a live audio to text transcription, and then translation, and finally everything is sent back to the Cisco Contact Center, and we are rendering both the transcripted original language and the translated language on the agent display. Let me show you, I'm going to show you 3 different flavors of these translation services we can deliver into a contact center. So the first one is a case of a digital contact center. So here I am. So let me log in. This is my Finesse agent in a Cisco Contact Center Enterprise. So what I'm going to do now, and then I will switch to my Mac so you can see, I'm going to pick my mobile phone and I'm going to use Telegram. Telegram is a social, it's a kind of WhatsApp. And I'm going to chat, one second. I'm going to chat the agent. So let's say I'm Italian. Let me pretend being Italian, okay? Io ho bisogno di aiuto. So this Italian customer is chatting this European contact center where an agent, whatever language the agent is speaking, is getting this request. The agent doesn't know what the language is. So the only thing the agent has to do is to invoke Google. So invoke Google like doing something like that. Please Google, translate whatever language that is into my language. And my language is English. And Google will kick in between the Telegram client and the Cisco Contact Center and will start translating. At this point, the agent can simply say, I'll ask a technician to call you. He's replying in English, of course, and as you can see, on my Telegram client here. Now I'm switching to my Telegram client on the Mac, so you can see the Italian customer is getting the reply in Italian, and you can keep chatting. This means that on the contact center side, you no longer have to deal with how many French agents you need, how many English agents you need, German, Spanish, and all the other 24 European languages. You just have to deal with a certain number of agents good enough to carry the traffic peaks you have. Because when the second, after 2 seconds, let's say another customer, and this time is a friend of Dominique. So he's chatting the same contact center and he's asking the support in French. I hope, Dominique, my French is good enough. Otherwise, I will need some lesson. The support technique. I think this is a decent French. And now, let's say the chat is coming again. And let's say this time an Italian agent is taking the call. So the Italian agent is asking Google, please translate whatever language that is into my language. And my language is Italian, so ho bisogno di un supporto tecnico. Ciao, ti faccio chiamare da un tecnico. So I'm going to reply in Italian, and Dominique, the French client, is getting the reply in French. As you can see, a very complex problem and cost for the contact center is being resolved by Google technology. And there is also another big advantage because Google supports a lot of different languages. So for example, let's go with the Stutzung. This is German. So, and again, no problem. Google can handle that, and Cisco is able to integrate everything. So please, I'm translate. This time it's an English agent. He's taking the call. I need technical support. Okay. Buy Italian products. They are better. And here we are. So this is just a joke, of course, but I hope it's very much clear the power of the combined solutions together. Now, this is a chat, of course. This is a digital contact center. What about audio? Let's have a look at another example. So now I'm going to place a call. It's becoming challenging because I'm in a call with you and I'm placing also a call into the contact center using my mobile phone. I hope the audio will be good enough. Let's give it a try. Okay. Here is the call. So let me mute everything. So now, as you can see, the agent has taken the call. I'm in a call here. Now let's have a look at this one. For example, I want to have a transcription, and I'm going to speak Italian, in this case, and at the same time I want Google to translate the transcribed text into another language. In this case, let me pick English. I can pick any other language you want, but I think English is good because each of us will understand. Pronto, buon pomeriggio a tutti. Io chiamo dall'Italia. Ho un problema tecnico e ho bisogno di aiuto. Ho comprato uno smartphone ieri e devo parlare con un tecnico. Non riesco ad aggiornare il software. Okay. Let me drop the call. So here you have seen another flavor of the languages issues. So in this case, I was transcribing live in Italian and as well as translating that in real time. So an agent, for example, who is taking a call in Italian, but he speaks Italian, but he's not fluent or is not so confident because his mother tongue language is English or any other combination. Think to the French contact centers in North Africa, to the Italian contact centers in Albania or in Romania, or to the German contact center in the Eastern European countries. So you can find plenty of these examples. Well, that's a unique support that the Cisco Contact Center solution integrated with Google Artificial Intelligence can deliver. And we are working also to the future. So let me give you one more glimpse of the future. So this is really going to be something available, in my opinion, in the coming months, but I let you judge on that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a real-time audio translation from one language to any other language. Of course, as it's just me talking, it will be just an echo. So my translated voice will come back by the Cisco and Google solution.
Multi-language CVT transcription test using Google. You say something and I will repeat it in a different language. Say goodbye when you're all done.
A second. I don't think the quality was good enough. I hope you can hear.
Test using Google. You say something and I will repeat it in a different language. Say goodbye when you're all done. To change language, just say speak followed by the language name. You start.
Speak Italian.
Adesso parlerò italiano.
Thank you very much, everybody. My name is Max.
Grazie mille. Tutti mi chiamo Max.
Speak French.
Je vais maintenant parler français.
Thank you, Dominique, for inviting me to run this session.
Merci Dominique de m'avoir invité à diriger la session.
Speak Spanish.
Ahora hablaré español.
I hope you like this demonstration and you understand the incredible potential of this solution.
Espero que les guste esta demostración y que comprendan el increíble potencial de esta solución.
Speak Dutch.
Ik spreek nu Nederlands.
I think we can stop here. Okay, so let's go back to the presentation. I hope this was a good way to show you the potential of the solution. Of course, we can do much more than that. And this was about translation services. At least I gave you some flavors of what we can do today together with Google, but there are many other areas where we can make the contact center much more efficient. So virtual agents is certainly one other area. So you can call it call deflection. I don't like to call it call deflection because it's not necessarily call deflection. It's the ability to manage more calls with the same resources. Or I would say the same calls with less resources, okay? So one first area of improvement we have been working on, and I believe in Cisco we developed a very interesting solution, is IVR. The IVR experience, each of us can, I would say, witness how frustrating it could be going through a traditional static IVR with multiple options, multiple menus where you spend hours just to find, like in my case, the option I'm looking for is always the last one of the last sub-menu. So after spending 1 minute and a half, and then what happens is that it's not just the customer experience not good, is that as soon as you learn that by pressing a certain code you reach the operator, you bypass immediately the IVR, so you make it useless. The problem is the underneath technology. So it's a static tree, and therefore it's a kind of short blanket. If you want to serve the customer across your portfolio and you have a huge portfolio, you need multiple options. So you have to build some menus, you have to put many options, and this is frustrating for the customer. If you want to keep it simple and short for the customer, you don't cover your portfolio. So there is no way. I mean, this is a short blanket. And it's not the fact that the speech IVR fixed the problem, because speech IVR is simply voicing the option, is not fixing the underneath architectural issue. What we have developed together with Google in Cisco, taking advantage of our Cisco Voice Portal solution, is a conversational IVR. The main difference is that you speak to the IVR and you ask the IVR your option. You tell the IVR what you want, what you're looking for. And the IVR doesn't go through a very complex list of menu and options. It simply rely on Google to understand your intent, to understand the action you want to take. And you understand by doing that, you can jump start quickly to what was before the last option of a very complex tree, simply because Google will recognize and will tell the Cisco Contact Center, okay, this customer is willing to book a flight. This customer is willing, to transfer money. So this is making the overall experience much better. This is keeping the customer happy, shortening the call, collecting a lot of data. Think that voice has a lot of biometrics information, for example, the sentiment. Another very good example I'm always giving, in a static IVR, if the customer is dropping the call because they can't find the option, you have no idea why they dropped the call. In this case, if they drop the call because they can't find the intent has not been recognized. If you look at your statistics of the Google IVR agent, in this case, you will learn about that, and you can further improve by simply training the machine, the model, underneath the conversational IVR to recognize the new intent. So that's why it's called machine learning. It's continuous learning. So, and that's why normally the first rollout is able to deliver a certain optimization, and then step by step, week after week, it's improving. Okay, so this is called the conversational IVR. In Cisco, we have a very interesting implementation of the conversational IVR with Google. We have delivered fundamentally two different modes of operations. The first one is the one we call Google-based IVR. Google-based IVR is an integration between a Cisco Contact Center Enterprise solution and Google Dialogflow, where we fundamentally hand over the call, the audio call, to Google, and Google is managing everything. So it's managing the logic of the flow. The conversation logic is held on Google, is in the cloud, is in Dialogflow. Cisco is simply relaying the call to Google, and once Google is done, the call is returned to Cisco, either to drop the call or to escalate to an agent. But the dialogue logic is in cloud, is in Google. Please notice the CRM in this case is in cloud. Why I've put the CRM in cloud? Because normally Dialogflow has to interact with data in order to fulfill answers, to fulfill the needs, or to simply store the requests from the customers. And as the logic, as everything is in cloud, well, a good design is to have the CRM in cloud as well. Otherwise, if it's on-premise, I mean, there should be a dialogue between cloud and on-premise, which is maybe not the best architecture. Okay, so this is one example which fits very well in many cases. For example, utilities companies, everywhere. I mean, you have a process you want to fully automate with the Google Dialogflow, and it's in the cloud, etc. This model fits very well. There is a second one, and the second one is the one we call the CVP-based IVR logic. So fundamentally, we still use Google for speech-to-text, for text-to-speech, for intent recognition, but the logic of the dialogue is still the one running on-premise in the IVR script developed on the Cisco Voice portal. This model fits much better into an existing customer on-premise willing to add Dialogflow to an existing IVR they have, because it's from within the existing IVR that you can invoke Google features, functions, and services whenever you need. If you need text-to-speech, you invoke text-to-speech. If you need advanced speech recognition or intent recognition, you invoke those from within the script, but the control of the logic of the dialogue is still in the script, as well as, you know, the interaction with the CRM, which could be on premise. It stays on premise, as well personal identification, which maybe for some companies is an issue. If it's sent to cloud, could stay on premise. Any existing on-premise integration is preserved. So it's a very good transition path from a static but complex IVR to a wonderful conversational IVR without turning everything upside down. And this is, I would say, a very good implementation we have in Cisco. Now, let's go through an example of this conversational IVR and virtual agent implementation. And it's the one Dominic was anticipating. So, but first, let me give you a different angle to call deflection. So when we talk about 10% optimization, in the vast majority of the cases, people think that 10% of the calls are managed by the bot and 90% of the calls are still managed by agents. Well, it's certainly possible, no problem, but if you need the bot to successfully manage entirely the call from beginning till the end, you need to develop a all the complexity of the bot, regardless it's managing 10% or 20 or 50% of the calls. So the problem with the bot is not the scalability, how many calls you manage. The problem of the bot is if it's complex, sophisticated enough to manage the different flavors of the conversation which could take place between a human agent and a client. Now, there is a different way to think about that. When a client is calling a contact center, regardless the vertical, the kind of service, vast majority of the cases, the first piece of the conversation is about data collection. What's your name? What's the reason of calling? What's your contract ID? Where do you want to fly to, etc. And these are very highly repetitive, very well structured conversations, so without too many, flavors, and therefore very easy to integrate and automate with Google Dialogflow. And if you do that, and if you ask a bot to take the incoming call, collect all the data, and once this is done, the call is escalated to an agent. And of course, the data collected, the context, is passed to the agent, and the agent is just meant to handle the complexity of the call, where the client could have could change the context, could have strange questions, etc. You achieve the same 10% optimization as the first case, but with much less complexity. And then from there, you can start adding more and more. You can make the bot more complex, being able to handle more than 10%, or you can combine even the two things. So that's really what I wanted to share with you, and that's also the demo I'm going to show you right now. In this demo, we have developed a bot with Dialogflow for a flight booking company, and the bot is supposed to take every incoming call, collecting all the data, and once the data collection is finished, the call is escalated to a Cisco agent on Finesse, and the context, everything the bot has collected during the conversation with the client is passed to the agent. So the agent doesn't have to start from scratch. The agent has the full picture of what the bot discussed with the client and can take over from there and successfully complete the customer call and customer needs. So let me switch back, and I will show you this demonstration, which is again, okay, here we are. So let me call once more the call center. I hope you can hear. I will put my iPhone in.
Welcome to the Cisco Rome demo facility. For dial. Welcome to Flight Booking Bot. To speed up the service, I'll collect your booking requests and answer your questions before connecting to an agent. What can I do for you?
I need to fly to London from Milan.
Which is the departure airport?
Milan.
What is the name of the person who is flying?
Max.
What is the name of the person who is flying?
Max.
When do you want to fly?
Tomorrow at 2 p.m.
Many thanks. This is a summary of your travel request. I will book a flight for Max from Leland to London in economy. The requested travel date is at tomorrow at 2 p.m. Do you need any extra reservations such as parking, car rental, taxi, hotel?
Hotel.
Okay, I have added hotel to your itinerary to London. Let me now connect to an agent to complete your reservation.
Okay. Now, sorry, let me mute everything because I have 3 calls now and it's a problem. Okay, as you can see, the agent has received a bot conversation context. So in this case, we put all the details because it's clearly a demonstration. So we have put the interaction between the customer and the bot, etc. We have put also the bot summary, which maybe could be the only stuff we decide to render on the customer on the agent desktop. We have even put the intent for troubleshooting. So this is the intent that Google has detected in Dialogflow, in the Dialogflow bot, which is here. So, and the intent has been passed back to the Cisco. So this is the flight booking bot, and this is fundamentally the intent which has been detected here. Okay, so, and everything is passed back to the agent. Of course, this is just a demonstration, but just to show you that everything is feasible. This is part of the customization that I was saying in the beginning the partner has to deliver. Of course, in this case, we are using a finesse desktop. If the customer is using any CRM like Salesforce.com or whatever else, well, those kind of data, these kind of context could be used as an input to the CRM to pre-fill in some applications, some forms, to pop up the customer profile, etc. These are the little fine-tuning customizations that the partner can deliver to fully integrate the solution. I think we can stop here. Dominique, just let me know. I mean, if we want to go with the Q&A, I think it's 10 minutes to the end. It's time to have the Q&A. Back to you, Dominique.
Thank you very much, Max. A great demonstration. So yes, we have a few questions. We will start to respond to the question. Feel free to add some of them if you want. So the first question is, will the Cisco partner need to understand Google CCAI in depth to deliver AI-based answer service? So I would say the point of... You can hear me, no?
Okay, here we are.
Yeah? Yes, you can hear me now?
Yes, hello? Sorry, I mean...
Sorry. So the point is, let's say, the intent is that as a global SI or a niche SI, you learn how to use Dialogflow. But the value of Dialogflow is we don't expect you to be an AI expert. We expect you to be a contact center expert, okay? The Dialogflow, the definition of a bot and the definition of the intent, I would say it's quite easy. It's not, the model is pre-trained. Okay, do you want to add something, Max, on your side?
I suspect I missed the first half of the question because okay. I had my client still on mute. Sorry, because of the demo.
Okay, so the question was about, let's say, will the Cisco partner need to understand the Google CCAI in depth to deliver an AI-based service?
Well, I would say you need to be able to play with Dialogflow. You don't have to know machine learning technologies and everything which is underneath that. But definitely, I mean, you need to be a Dialogflow expert to create the bot, to customize the bot, to integrate the bot with fulfillment, with webhooks, etc. So it's not like downloading a software and running it. It's really a powerful, but also, I mean, a feature-rich solution that you need to learn to use.
Okay, thank you very much. Will the customer be billed separately by Google for consuming Dialogflow Enterprise apart from the payment to Cisco? So that, let's say, the go-to-market of Contact Center AI is go through our telephony partners. So today it's Cisco. So as mentioned, Max, those prices are on the Cisco price list. So you will be charged for the CCNI consumption by Cisco only. Okay. What is the option if the Cisco version is less than 2.5?
It's 12.5. Again, 12.5 on CCE platforms, any sort of CCE platforms, is the mandatory requirement on the Cisco voice portal and the virtual voice browser, simply because that's where we have integrated the Google remote procedure control protocol. So if you don't upgrade that, we don't speak natively the Google language, and therefore you can't do that. We can still run 11.6 in the rest of the contact center, which is compatible with the CVP and VVB running 12.5, but that's really the minimum requirement. So that's what you need.
Okay. So a question from Shravan. In Mod 2 of your presentation, can Dialogflow still use fulfillment layer to integrate with on-prem system?
Yes, absolutely. I think it's, when I say it's limitless, it's really limitless, because fulfillment could take place at any level. So you can run fulfillment from the Cisco IVR script on CVP, because you can easily create webhooks. For example, the context demo I've been running, it's a webhook we have created in the CVP script, as well as you can have the same on Google side. So by combining, that's why I said it's a matter of creativity. You have incredible opportunities to combine together the two technologies to deliver the business value to the customer.
Thank you. Question from Fahad. Can we integrate it with UCC 12.0 having voice XML gateways?
As I said, well, with an external gateway, I guess they mean. Well, this was the way we were already integrating with Google before 12.5 with an external gateway. I wouldn't go that way, because, for example, you cannot do, or Mode 2 will become much more difficult, much more articulated. Plus, you introduce one extra box, which is a point of failure, complexity, etc. In my view, yes, if you have to do that, you can, but in my view, it's much simpler to upgrade to 12.5, at least the CVP and the VVB, which is not such a big task. If you're already running 11.6 of 12 in the contact center, upgrading just the CVP and VVB is by far the preferred option.
Thank you. How does Call Studio script look like? So I'm not sure what.
Well, I can show you the script now if you allow me to do that. There is also a white paper which is showing everything. I don't know exactly what we can do now. Do you want me to share it?
Well, let's keep it. If we have a few minutes, we have other questions.
Okay.
Otherwise,
chat me, send me an email. I will share with you the white paper, everything. I can arrange a one-to-one and show you the way the CVP script looks like. No problem.
Anton Krivenstev. Can the dialogue understand the context, the flow? So that's a dialogue flow. Yes, for sure. During the demonstration made by Max, he's booking a flight, and we can detect that as a mandatory. Let's say you've got the first airport, the second airport, and as optional could be hotel. So if there are some missing information, the bot will ask the mandatory information and only the optional. So you will get the context, yes. Question from Irfan, what's the accuracy level of Google Translation? Sometimes there are errors. Can we train the bot or translator? So we are continuously training the bot, okay, for translation. Regarding detecting intent or specific words, you can have a speech adaptation on top on Dialogflow to catch some specific words. But I would say we are continuing improving the bot. It's a magic of machine learning. Can I use Studio to build a virtual assistant application? So I'm not sure what they mean by Studio. It's a Cisco offer? I guess?
It's a Cisco. Well, it's very simple, the answer to that. If you're using Mode 1, the agent is 100% on Dialogflow side. So fundamentally, we just hook in Dialogflow into a very simple basic script. With Mode 2, where you have the Dialogflow sorry, the dialog flow, it's confusing. You have the dialog logic on the Cisco CVP script, and the intent recognition, for example, is still in Google. It's a combination of the two. And that's where the magic is happening, because you can really do something very cool and interesting and complex. So it could be in between, could be full on Google side. It's up to you, and it depends on the use case. So that's really my advice. Always start from the use case. Don't start with the technology. First, the use case. Understand what the customer is willing to do, where is the optimization opportunity, and then later we discuss what is the best technology solution architecture we pick. Because for sure there is one. For sure there is one. That's what I mean when I'm saying it's limitless.
Just the last question, because we are 1 minute to go. There is a question with a different telephony partner, so reach out to me. I can cover it. We won't cover it today.
I can answer.
When will the Cisco? So it's a question from Prince. I will take it. Ping me later on. dompfeffer@google.mail. Last question for you. When will the Cisco Dialog Flow connector be available for voice? And that would be the last question. So for me,
it's available now. I just demonstrated that in at least 3 of the demo I've been running. So the transcription one, I was placing an audio call, the live audio call translation, and the final one with the booking service, they were all audio calls. So it's a voice dialog flow.
Thank you very much, Max. I hope all the attendees enjoy this great demonstration. Feel free to reach us to deploy those 2 technologies and change the contact center. Thank you very much, Max.
Thank you, my friend Dominique. Ciao.
Ciao.